forms, I wanted to do kind of a walkthrough tutorial on how you can put this on your Squarespace website, and also how, if you don't have a Squarespace website, or if you don't even have a website, how to just do a Google Forms and make it a little more on brand so you can send it out to your clients. So if you are on your Squarespace page, you just go over here to pages, and we're going to create a new page for this. So we want it to be a not linked page. So we're going to go down here and hit the plus sign and just do a blank page, and we'll just title it feedback. So first thing I'm going to have you do is hit on this gear icon, and we're going to go over to SEO, and we're going to toggle this off, hide page from SEO, from search results. And that's just because we don't want random people just finding it through Google. We just want this to be sent to just clients. It's just specific to that. So we're going to have that toggled off. Hit save. And then we're going to go into edit right here. We're going to add a section. And over here on this side, you can see one that already has forms. So we can just click on that one just to make it easy. And you can just click just a generic form. That's what I have. If you want it to be a little more cutesy, you can have ones that have photos. I just have a generic form to keep it simple. And then up here, you want to have a little verbiage like, I would appreciate you filling this out. And you could maybe, I don't know, put anything you want here. So this right here is where you are going to put your questions. So let's click on it, and we're going to click on the little pencil, and we're going to edit form fields. This is where you can edit everything. So obviously you might not want the first name. Maybe you could just do business name. It kind of depends on how you're wanting to collect these. You want to think about that. Definitely have them put their email, because you want to know who specifically it is filling this out. I wouldn't recommend doing phone. And then this is where you're going to add your questions. So you can just delete these, or you can go into it and change it. But as you can see, this is a drop-down one with check marks, so we don't really need that unless you had something that you wanted to be like, or a drop-down or check mark if you wanted to say, where did you hear about us from? Even though I'd still recommend just doing that as a paragraph way. So you can add a field, and I would just do text area. This way it just gives people the chance to respond the way they want to respond. If there's a very specific like options you want them to pick from, then choose that so you can get that more specific answer. So, and then right here, down here is where you can hit required. You don't have to make all your questions required, but I would make the biggest ones required. And always make where they heard from you required, because that really helps you with your marketing of how you got that lead. And then the post submit, you can redirect it to another page if that's something you wanted to do, or you can just thank you or tailor this in any way you want to do that. So right here, the biggest thing is the storage. So you're going to go over to storage, and this is how we're going to link it to a Google Sheet. So you're going to go to additional storage and just connect to your Google Drive, and it's going to come up. You're not going to see it on my screen, to connect on the back end to your Google Drive. And then right here, it's going to create, as you see, this will create a new spreadsheet. This is why Squarespace is awesome, because it's super easy, self-explanatory. So we're just going to put feedback, and you can put form, survey, testimonial, however you want to. And then just hit back, and you can see it's processing it right now. So it's creating that form for you, and now that is connected. So we're going to hit back. And now that's connected, so we want to save this. And then obviously, if you have your Squarespace, this is already going to be branded for you. It's going to have your brand colors. It's going to have that specific button that you've already created. So that's the easy part about having it on your website. And then how to send that is going to be the URL link. And that is, you can kind of figure that out by right here, that's /feedback. So it's going to be your website /feedback. If you want to change that to say something else, you would just change that right here, and you would copy and paste that link and send it to your clients. So then when they fill that out, it's going to create that Google Sheet in your Google Drive. So the other way is going to be on your Google Forms. So we're going to go over to the three dots over here and create a form. Just create a blank form. And up here is where you're going to title it. So feedback or testimonial, however, whichever word you want to use, but just stick to one word. So that way it's consistent everywhere. So over here is where you're going to do your questions. Recommend, again, just do the paragraph one, not the short answer one. That way it gives them a chance to put as much detail in it as they want, because that's what you want. The more, the better. So right here is where you're going to toggle it on to be required. Over here is where you can add another question. And remember, just probably paragraph, unless you wanted something a little more specific like we talked about earlier. And then your responses right here is where you're going to link it to the sheets. So you're going to click on that and it's going to create a new one. If you already have one, like maybe you had already created one, you can select an existing spreadsheet. And then you can change the title right here and just hit create. And that is going to create that sheet for you. So now you see that you'll have right here, you'll have the questions out and who filled it out. And it's just all in one spot and it's a little easier to see. So over here on your settings, you can be a little more specific how you want to collect these responses. Do you want to collect email? You can just kind of look at these if you're wanting to be a little more specific. Now, the biggest thing with a Google form is I recommend trying to make it look as close to your branding as possible. So remember, we want that consistency on all marketing levels with our branding. So right here in this little art thing, you can change your fonts, and it looks like it's got all the fonts because this is Google. So it's got your Google fonts. So you can click on that. You can do a header image if you want, maybe if you wanted to do your logo, but I think the header images are a specific ratio. So if that doesn't work, then maybe don't put that. And then you can add a color right here. So you have the option to put your custom colors in here. You can do background. And so you want to definitely make sure you do that. To view it, you can just hit preview and see what it's going to look like on that end. And then to send it, this is your copy this link, and you can copy that link. And you can share it specifically straight through this way as well. Just make sure that you are allowing that person to view it or anything like that. So, and then you will publish it, obviously, at the end. So that's how you are going to do that. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out to me, Hannah at palmbreezedigital.com.